you want to know my opinion and what I think, just keep on watching. Hey guys, what's good? It's your girl Nisi here and I'm back with a new video. Welcome to Jamrock, Jamaica, Jamaica. Yes, Jamaica is making some waves on TikTok and literally worldwide, because on the Breakfast Club they were talking about this. So a school in Jamaica, St. Andrews, they put out a formal statement saying students are no longer allowed to do their baby hairs or slip their edges down. And if they do, they'll be sent home or they'll have to do detention. Now, as always, the TikTok streets are divided. Some people agree with it, some people don't. So I'm gonna run the first clip so you can get an idea of what the statement was, and I will be back with my commentary.
An all-girls high school in Jamaica is sparking a difficult conversation after posting on Instagram that edges are absolutely banned from being worn at school. On September 7th, they wrote, "Reminder students, please be advised that the wearing of edges is now officially banned on campus. Remember, curtain bangs belong in the house, not on foreheads." St. Andrews High School for Girls was founded in 1925. They have turned off their comment section, but it has been sparking a lot of discussion on social media. Laying edges has become something that a lot of Black girls have been doing. It's become a part of our cultural expression. Like we all have baby hairs. It's just a nice, neat look to have them laid down. Let me know in the comments if you think laying edges is not upholding standards of high school. I know it's different in the Caribbean. High schoolers go to school in very nice uniforms. Minimal makeup is what I've heard. But I'm surprised that edges is something that they would absolutely ban. I've even seen in some comment sections saying that their child has been refrained from wearing locks to school. Let me know in the comments what you think.
Guys, so you just heard that, and I don't see a problem with it. Every school has rules in it, so if St. Andrews is this how they feel, then I saw it for go in it. Like, just don't turn up to school. It's really not that hard. Like, it is only baby hairs. Does everyone slip their baby hairs and their edges? No. So obviously they're talking to a particular group of girlies. It is what it is. I just feel like kids nowadays, they don't know how good they've got it. Like me driving to school to drop my kids off, I'm seeing high schools, because where I live, there's two different types of high schools where I live. And if you see the way they dress, the wigs, the makeup, the phones, the shoes, like 10-10, like they're going out. And I'm just like, these are going to school, they've got the designer coats on, they've got the designer bags, shoes, and I'm just like, these are going to school, like it's crazy. So them getting rid of baby hairs, it's nothing. So I hope the parents will listen. And I have a feeling, yeah, the students that do go to that school, it's an all-girls school, so I don't know who they're trying to impress as well. But the whole TikTok, Snapchat, social media. Listen, with hot countries in the Caribbean, in Africa, I don't know how you do it. So last time I was in Jamaica a year ago, had my wig on, curly wig. I did some edges, tied it down, the usual. So I went to my granddad's house for my aunties, which is like 20 minutes away, in the car. So in the car, you got AC, the window can go down. Guys, please tell me, by the time I got out the car and went to my granddad's, edges done lift, it done lifted off. So shout out to the girlies that live out there day in, day out. I don't know how you cope with the wigs. If I lived in Jamaica, I would not wear a wig. It's my natural hair all day, every day. I'll probably just locks up and call it a day because it's too hot out there. I saw this picture the other day. Check it out. But I agree. I just feel like Jamaica, the sun's just there. The sun's just right next door. That's how I feel when I'm in Jamaica. Like it's the heat over there is crazy. But yeah, I don't see a problem with it. I didn't start doing my baby hairs and I don't even do it that much. It depends on the style and the look that I'm going for. I've done it a bit today, but I'm filming late, so you know what I mean, they've kind of gone. But I usually do it when I've got braids in and when I'm wearing a particular wig. But overall I don't, you know what I mean? People be doing all little sweeps. I don't do the most. I just and call it a day in it. But yeah, I know with the wigs and when people are populating, I put some images like, yeah, some people do not play. Miss Erica Banks. I can't talk about baby hairs and not bring you to the forefront. She's from Texas, H Town, but everyone's always coming for her baby. Her baby hairs are literally in her eyebrows. Now she does have a small forehead. I feel like a lot of girlies that have big foreheads, we love the baby hairs. Like hello, but because she's got such a small head, her baby hairs are always like her baby hairs are literally above her eyelids. It's like, girl, like come on now. So there's people that do baby hairs, and it's like you don't need it. It's for the big forehead girlies. But yeah, let's get into some people's reaction.
Jamaica is a very conservative country, and if you're not Jamaican or have Jamaican family members or grew up around a lot of Jamaicans, then you truly won't understand how conservative Jamaicans are. Jamaicans place a lot of value on tradition, religion, and especially education. So I'm not surprised that at school in Jamaica ban edges. I'm more surprised that this is making national news. The Shade Room is talking about this. News outlets like the Breakfast Club is talking about this. And I am so surprised that this is making national news the way how it is. And honestly, frankly, I don't really see it as a big deal because they want to focus on education. As a survivor of a private Jamaican school, I went for 1 year when I was 6. And I remember we all had to wear black shoes, and it couldn't be sneakers. We had to all wear black shoes. And I remember all of the boys, we had to have like a short haircut, and our uniform, it had to be ironed. When I moved to the United States and I went to school in America, it felt like Disney World. It was so much freedom. I didn't know what to do with myself. I only went to school in Jamaica for 1 year, so I don't have like a lot of stories, but I've heard other Jamaicans say they went to school in Jamaica and they were sent home because they didn't have a haircut. They were sent home because they went to school ashy. They were sent home because their nails were dirty. And honestly, I'm not surprised because a lot of private schools in Jamaica, a lot of schools in Jamaica, if you don't go to school looking neat and proper, they will send you home. But honestly, a lot of these schools in Jamaica need to have some rules and regulations on skin bleaching because skin bleaching is more of a distraction than baby hairs. You have some of these kids going to school looking like possums. Okay, I'm distracted because such and such is over there looking like a possum when I'm trying to learn. And also, too, let me just add this. This is not just Jamaica. A lot of countries in the Caribbean, Africa, South America, Central America, Asia, they have a lot of strict school rules. And a lot of American kids don't understand how easy y'all have it going to school with lace front wigs, Balenciaga, a rollie on your wrist. In a lot of Caribbean countries and Asian, African countries and all those other countries, it is not allowed.
Yeah, shout out to him. And yeah, I agree. He knows from experience. And even my mum, when she talks about how she used to go to school, she used to work in a school in the UK, and she just talks about like just how lucky the kids are over here. Like she would get sent home, she would get beat. So my mum's a baby boomer. So these were the days where the teacher could beat you. Nails had to be on point, hair had to be on uniform, pressed to the T, like no creases, clean, everything clean. Like they just didn't play. And a lot of schools are still like that, but there are some schools that are more laid back. Like he said, he went to a private school, so I'm guessing if you go to a private school, like it's still going to be that old school ruling, like they don't play. Now, listen, yeah, Jamaicans, especially when it comes to their hair, this is probably where I get it from. We love our colorful wigs, colorful extension, the patterns, the designs. You ain't wearing that in school. You're literally going to school plain Jane. On the weekend, you can do all that toning up, all the different colors. You can do all that. I remember my daughter, she went to school for like a year in Nigeria. I did her hair, put beads on, looking all cute. Auntie that she was staying with, the auntie was like, because I did her hair over the weekend, she's like, you need to take those out by Sunday. And I was like, huh? Because in the UK, she can wear beads. They were like, yeah, the school don't allow all those colors, all that, just plain and simple. So I agree. The Caribbean, South America, Asia, Africa, they don't play those games. Like they're preparing you for, the job, adulthood. So they put it like they install it in you from young. So I definitely agree with that. Obviously, when he said Jamaica was a conservative like country, people in the comments were like, "Well, what about Bashment? What about Vibes Cartel? Da 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 da." It does have the raunchy side or the slack music, as they call it, but it is very conservative. If you talk to your grandparents, what quick funny story. When I went Jamaica as a first time as an adult, so I was around 17, I had one of those bubble skirts. I did a video on it. If not seen it, do check it out. But I'll put an image there of the skirt. I thought I was looking all cute. So basically, it's long in the front and it's shorter at the back. So I bought that put it on, and if you guys, rest in peace to my gran, if you seen the way that my gran was looking at me, and she was like, "Oh, where you think you are?" It's so funny, and I was just like, outside. She's like, "I beg you, go turn around and go and change." Like, and I'm just like in my head, I'm like, "But my mom seen me, and she didn't say anything." But no, my gran shut that down. I think I just put on some jeans after that because, like, I don't wear skirts anyway or shorts. Like, I literally only wear that when I go on holiday, but she was not here for it. And I think I only wore that skirt once, probably out in the UK. Again, I don't wear skirts and that, so yeah, but yeah, the olders, they are very conservative. They don't play. The churchgoers, the one who are serious about church, they don't play. Everything's on point. They retire. They do not play. So I definitely agree with him. He made me laugh when he touched. I'm glad he touched on the skin bleaching because yeah, like there's bigger things to worry about in Jamaica. Kids smoking the reefer at a young age. Obviously, the bleaching, like the fact that they're coming for baby hairs. Like I get it, rules are rules, but there's so many other things going on in Jamaica that they could be more, focusing on. And like he said, this is, what I mean, it's on the shade room. Breakfast Club, like it's literally gone over to the Americas, and Americas they set the trend in it. Like, babe, no one can do baby hairs better than the American girlies in it. The wigs, the lace frontals, all that good stuff. So a lot of Americans that have seen this and heard about this are like, oh, they need to usher that in America. But I don't think it'll run. I'm not even gonna lie. Like he said, in the UK, America, it's like Disneyland. If you've been to a strict school or you've gone to school in the Caribbean or in Africa, when you come to the UK, you're just like you lot get away with so much, even when it comes to like homework, just simple stuff that you will get sent home for back home. But in the UK, it's just the teachers are just like, right, just bring it in tomorrow, like it's nothing. Mate, in Jamaica, you will get your ass whooped, detention, exclusion, and letter home to your parents, and then your parents are gonna be vexed, so they'll probably beat you. You know what I mean? Like, so I get when he said coming from a private school in Jamaica, coming to the UK, it's like, wow, this is really like Disneyland. Like you lot don't know how good you've got it.
A Jamaican high school for girls has banned edges and it is causing outrage. Some people in the comments are calling it racial profiling, and I just want to say, you're probably from America, maybe from the UK. Either way, you're not Jamaican calling out racial profiling for a school policy, so keep on moving. Others are saying, what does hair have to do with education? And I want to say precisely, babes, precisely, because when you're a high school student, I happen to think that you should be thinking about your education and not your edges. Other people are like, oh, surely there are bigger things to talk about. And I'm like, well, yes, I agree with you. We shouldn't have to talk about edges in Jamaica because I see this as like one step towards infiltration from like cable television that is ruining our culture of schools and basically watering down the system. Because as a Jamaican who went to the UK, and I was completely appalled by how I saw people wearing uniforms. I've done videos about this before, about girls with their skirts so short you can almost see what falling out of where. I have seen girls with wigs, with weaves, with edges, with nails, with lashes. The list goes on, and I happen to think that a teenager should not be thinking of school as a fashion show, as my dad would say, but you should be thinking of school for school. So I think that whilst you might think that, oh, it's just edges, I think that your focus, babe, it's all in the wrong places. And you might think that, oh, well, it's just a pointless rule. And I happen to think that sometimes we need to bring structure into school. We need to bring rules because rules sometimes need to be followed. And if you're like me, when I was in school, no, I did not follow all the rules. But you know what? It taught me how to get away with what I wanted. The fact that there was some structure there taught me how are you going to navigate life in such a way that you can still remain respectful, but sometimes you do need to learn how to push a boundary. However, it was never with my hair, it was never with a hairstyle. And let's be honest, okay, the whole put your hair from here and take it over yasso down to your eyebrow and just swoops with the gel, I personally don't understand it. I don't think it looks cute, and so maybe that's why I don't like this style anyway, and therefore the rule doesn't bother me. But the point is, as a mother of two young girls, do I want them going to school and the first thing that is on their mind is how their hair is gelled down to their forehead? No, babes. I want them to go to school and I want them to think about the types of adult human beings that they're going to be. I want them to get educated academically, socially, sports, all the things that really matter. And for me, your hair should not be your number one priority when you're in school, and that becomes like the focus. That becomes how people kind of identify, how they categorize, how they section out the cliques, how they become bullies over here. Like, no, I'm not into it. So do I support this rule? 100%. Am I happy to hear what you have to say? 100%.
Shout out to that lovely lady. Not the racial profiling. She makes me laugh about y'all must be American or from the UK because I know you're not from yard. Like, Listen, certain things that fly in the West could never fly in the Caribbean, in Jamaica specifically. Like even the policing, I'm not gonna speak too much on it, but even the stuff that the policemen get away with, it could never fly in America. You know what I mean? So not the racial profiling now. It's got nothing to do with color. And if we are gonna talk about racial profiling, it's certain schools in Jamaica that won't let you have locks. That's mad. Locks is huge. It's huge in like Atlanta. Like everyone's locking up. But I would say I don't want to say it originated in Jamaica, but Jamaicans were more known. Like you would see a Rastafarian or a person with locks, and you know they're Rastafarian. You know what I mean? So now in 25 to hear that certain schools in Jamaica won't accept you because you have locks is crazy. It's like rah. So that's giving more racial profiling. It's like because you know locks, it's not just a hairstyle. There's a whole religion and the way you're brought up behind it. You know what I mean? It's meaningful, but no, I agree with her. Is there bigger issues that they could be talking about? Yes, but like she said, over here in the UK, I see it nearly every morning taking my kids to school. The skirts, skirt and blouse, the imagery that we see is crazy. Like, how can your skirt be shorter than your coat? You know what I mean? So you can see the length of the coat at the front, but as soon as someone's walking behind them, you know what I mean? Like the ass cheeks are literally just falling. That is crazy. Do a lot of kids leave their house with their skirt to their knees? Yep. And then by the time they get to school, you know what I mean? They runch it up. A lot of things have changed though compared to when I was in school. So I was in high school the mid 2000s. My friend one day she came in black and dark blue extension. She got sent home. They were like, you can't come in. You couldn't have certain piercings. Back then we didn't do the whole weave and that, so you know what I mean, wigs and all that wasn't big back then when I was in high school. But just colours, piercings, obviously you couldn't have a tattoo. I just feel like a lot of these youngers, they've got obviously the lace frontals, they've got certain piercings, they've got all sort of colours in the hair, going in with designer stuff. It's just like wow, like is it school or is it a fashion show? And again, they just don't know how good they've got it compared to where, when we were in school. But yeah, shout out to her.
So I saw that a school in Jamaica had banned the girls from laying their edges when they go to school. And I just thought to myself, internalized anti-blackness, but hey ho, what's my own? I'm not Jamaican. I saw a black British creator agreeing, and at first I thought it was satire, but no. She was saying, ban the nails, ban the lashes, ban the baby hair. I just thought to myself, wow, when does society teach us to hate girls? At what point do we all gather and decide, yes, we are going to police you until you fit the standard? I made a video last year about how uniform policies are rooted in sexism, telling girls how long their skirt should be, how many buttons should be done up, what they're allowed to have on their face and on their nails. Meanwhile, Tommy is online every single night, deep in incel culture, watching hours of porn, unchecked, no rules for him. This isn't just unfair, it's a disgusting double standard. Rules exist for girls and not for boys. Girls are often judged and labelled for their sexual activity, while there is no equivalent term or judgment applied to boys. I left school decades ago and we're still waiting for the male equivalent of the term hoe. And this double standard starts so young with phrases like, boys will be boys. As an educator of 10 years, let me be real with you. None of these things, lashes, baby hairs, nails, hinder a girl's ability to learn. I know many of us conceptualize school as a formal setting, but research continues to show that children do best in schools when they feel as though they belong there, as though they are at home. Policing individuality does nothing for education. The only reason I would put a stop to any of these things is if it was stopping the girls from getting to school on time, because that would actually hinder their learning. So what are we really banning?
Shout out to her, and I disagree. I forgot to mention the eyelashes, the nails. How could I forget? But yeah, boys do have their not obviously not policing as much as women, but they do have like some boys try and turn up to school in their Jordans with a do rag on, trying to set those waves for later on. You know what I mean? But this is an all girls school, and I can speak on it because I went to an all girls school myself. When it came to like break time, lunch time, there was a all boys school not too far. So they would sneak out and go and link. So this school's put this policy into place because maybe a lot of girls are going to the toilet to lay their edges. You know what I mean? They might go to the bathroom, their edges wasn't done, and when they come from the back, the edges are done, and it's just like, huh? Or maybe when it's break time, instead of refreshments and you know what I mean, maybe going to the library, they're too busy doing TikToks and doing up their edges. So I hear what she's saying that, again, the police and women, da 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 da. But I think it's needed because the way these kids are off the chain, so it's not bad. Because again, when I was in high school, and I'm sure when she was in high school, yeah, they had policies there for us, and we turned out okay. You know what I mean? I feel like with them not putting policies there, it's kind of just like the kids are ruling. Like in the UK, in America, the kids have more rights than the teachers. You know what I mean? So I don't agree. And guys do get it, but obviously they're never going to get it as much as us. And like she said, they could be watching corn, and then a girl could suck a guy off, and then she's a hoe. But what about this one that's laid up in bed watching corn all day? So I get it, it's the double standards, but that's been there from day dot. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
Yo, yo. So a couple days ago, it was confirmed that in Jamaica, schools have banned edges. Any girls coming to school with edges will be sent home or suspended. And at first, I felt a bit triggered. I felt triggered because as the Nigerian president of Jamaica, you should be running these rules by me before confirming them. But it also triggered me because all the times I was in school and I had a skin fade, I was sent to isolation till my hair grew back. Every single time I got that haircut, I was banned from even eating lunch with my friends in school. In that same breath, I remember one day, one boy came to school with the Union Jack shaved in his head and he was allowed to go to every single class. So since then, I've always felt a way when black people have certain types of hair and you're getting in trouble for it in school. I don't think it's fair. That's our hair. This is how we like it. Leave us alone. It's not affecting our education. Until I became a teacher. And yesterday, I remember there were two girls in my class that were arguing over eyelash glue. So England, whatever book Jamaica is using to find these rules, I beg, tear every page and keep it for yourself. It's high time we start banning everything for these kids in school. The kids in school in England are too extra. They come to school with everything on and they don't need to. They don't need to. Some kids come to school wearing 2 grand coats. Some kids come to school wearing Christian Dior trainers. Certain men are bumping the train coming to school wearing 6 grand outfits. This doesn't make any sense. Ban it, equalize everybody, cuz. The other day I saw a post where girls in the playground were using Pritt stick to edge up their edges. You know when you want to fix it up to make it make it look more sleek. I don't know how to do it. I don't have edges, but you know what I'm saying. And me, I can't lie, that's actually quite a good idea. That's very cost effective and practical. But why are you doing it in school? It's not that important, bruv. It's not that deep. Please get your grades and fuck off. Go and be real in the world and make some good money. Some of the kids put so much pressure on themselves to look perfect. But at the end of the day, the only thing that should be perfect right now are your grades. I beg, please, England, ban it. Ban it, bruv.
Wants to hear me never fails to make me laugh. Yeah, man. Nigerian guy in London. But no, he told no lies. And again, he's speaking of experience. When he was in school, he got put in isolation until the fade grade. Can you imagine? Every day you've got to be in isolation until your fade grows out. That's crazy. But then sees a white boy in his class who gets the jack in his the Union Jack in his head, and he can go to every class like what? And this is what I mean. Again, the double standards, the racism comes into play. You know what I mean? So you know what that girl said previously. You know what I mean? That's why I had to disagree because guys go for it too. Again, locks. If they've got the do-rag on and they're trying to do them waves, if they've got a certain fade, shit, even a high top, you know what I mean? So, and again, he didn't agree with it until he became a teacher, and then he sees the madness. He sees girls getting out the little mirror, and they're trying to fix their edges, or they're on the phone, trying to snap, and it's just like, this is not a fashion show. And I love that he touched on the designer coats, trainers, like shoes, the bags. I see it all the time, and for me, if I'm sending my daughter to school in a 3 grand coat, she is not walking. I am dropping her off at those gates. I just don't get it. I see them walking and I'm like, this is weird. Like, why have you got such an expensive coat on, but you're outside walking in the rain? Like, it's not making sense. And I know a lot of kids, they beg their parents, like, please, can I get this coat? Da, da, da. Like, trust me, I get it. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense. And I just feel like you're putting your child in danger. There was a boy that got unalived couple of years ago in London, and they wanted to rob him for his designer coat, and he literally wouldn't take it off, so they took his life and took the jacket. So you know what I mean? It's things like that you've got to also consider as well. Like, yeah, you're sending your child into look, chef's kiss, but you could be putting them into danger also. So if you are gonna send your child, there's nothing wrong with them buying them nice stuff, but please drop them off, pick them up. Like, you're not going on the bus or you're not walking in a 3 grand coat. I do not care. It just doesn't make sense. I've got a Gucci puffer jacket and I regret buying it because it's like, where the hell am I gonna wear this to? So I wear it when I go abroad, like on holiday on the plane, when it's cold. And my sister was like, you better wear that to Asda. I'm like, why am I gonna wear a Gucci jacket to Asda? Like, I'm not trying to get robbed, you know what I mean? So I like that he touched on that. And again, he's speaking from experience for when he was young and when he became a teacher. He's like, nah, you kids are doing too much. You need to focus on your grades.
So I heard that they banned edges in schools in Jamaica, and I think it's amazing. They need to ban everything over here, everything. Because right about now, the children are too nuff. They're just too nuff. You know, when you was younger, your mum used to say, I don't really like that little girl, you know, because she's too nuff. Now I'm sorry, everybody's child is too nuff. Like, it's actually ridiculous. I'm in the classroom and I'm saying every minute, hello, can you put away the mirror, please? Excuse me, can you put away the mascara, please? Why have you done your lip gloss about 50 times? Your lips are about to drop off. Can you put it away? The next one's got our eyelash curler. You're rude. I don't even own one. The next girl had a whole mirror, A4 size with lights around it and a stand. You're extremely rude, young lady. Go and put back your mother's things in her bathroom because it's teeth. I know your teeth and your parents' things. One of the little girls had little lip gloss. Miss, do you like my lip gloss? It's Yves Saint Laurent. You're rude. You don't even concentrate in French and you're telling me about Yves Saint Laurent. I have to ask them, what time is it in the morning that you're waking up? I need to understand. Because in the morning, I am literally looking like I'm homeless. Like I crawled out of the tent underneath the subway and I'm looking little change for pasta later on. It's definitely giving mad, gal. I'm outside looking like a fiend. Hello, where is the Nest Cafe? And you lot are looking like you're ready for New York Fashion Week. It's not making sense. I don't understand it. There needs to be a ban on everything because they're so interested in everything about their appearance. They are not studying their books. They're in the classroom and they're worried about the edges. They're worried about all these things. The edges has got so much style and pattern. It's giving art attack. That's what it's giving. I need to understand what time in the morning you lot are waking up to put on this production because it's a whole thing that's going on. And here, there's me, lip dry, bare things, and I'm just in the classroom like, hello. Because it's giving supermodel. And let me not even get started on the short skirts. Because the short skirts is a different thing. That's a whole new topic.
Gosh, big ups to her. She had me rolling and she told no lies. Especially when she's like, when I wake up in the morning, I look homeless. That's me. Parents be looking at me when I drop my kids off and I don't care if I'm doing my job, I'm dropping them off. I look completely different when I'm picking them up. You know what I mean? Sometimes I've got like my everyday wig. By the time I'm picking them up, I've got a fly wig on, like I'm looking my actual normal self. But in the morning, so I felt her with that, like I'm homeless, I'm begging for change. Like in the morning, don't look for me because I look a hot mess. But no, shout out to her, and I agree. These kids are nuff. These kids are off the chain. Obviously, people are just like, oh, it's baby hair, but there's a bigger meaning behind it. You know what I mean? Like these kids are nuff, man. And like she said, this one's putting on lip gloss. This one's doing their eyelashes. Someone's probably fixing their nail that's probably dropping off. Like, can you just take out your pens, your pencil, and do some school work, please? And if you check them, they've always got some clapback, some chat back for you. And it's just like, you know what I mean? How can I be in the wrong for telling you put the lip gloss away? And then they're like, oh yeah, I will in a minute, miss. Let me just put the lip gloss away. So I love that she touched on that. Like just as a whole, the two north. And oh my gosh, look how she just made me laugh. Just kept it 100. She summed up schools in the UK, and like she said at the end, the skirts, don't even get me started on this because that's a whole nother video, a whole nother topic. But shout outs to her, she told no lies. But yes, the UK take a page out of Jamaica's book, ban a lot of stuff need banning, and even the young girlies that get like get their lips done. I've done a video on it, you know, when it goes wrong, like a lot of them have their lips and it's like, you know, like you're not even old enough. Like, how have you got your lips done? But, you know, someone knows someone. And then again, a lot of these girls are looking older than their age. So there's also that. But if you've not seen that video, do check it out. But yeah, legal lip injections or fillers, like, these kids, they're too off. Like she said, that like what time do you wake up? A lot of kids that I see after dropping my children to school, I see a lot of kids in their uniform just strolling like on their phones. And I'm like, fam, you know, like you're an hour late for class, but they're just taking their sweet time. So now I agree. What time do you wake up to put on the lace front, the makeup, the outfit, your phone? Obviously, you got a snap, you know, I'm on the way to school. Like, what time? I'm not here looking bad while the kids are all done up for New York Fashion Week while she's just like, yeah, turn to page 3, like oh, but shout out to her, man. She made me laugh.
Now that I'm really thinking about it, most of you just really have a lot of strength for the education system. You come out strong for the education system. A lot of you want to bash the school for making a rule that betters their education system. Come on now. So why when you're going down to embassy and they said no phones, you carry your phone, go left with a stranger? They said no belt, your clothes are drop off for you, you take out the belt and you're gone down at embassy. Why when you go to the courthouse and them say don't wear your armpit out, you're not going at your tank top? Hey? What? Those aren't rules that were made to be broken. Why only some rules we feel can be broken? Why is it that only when it comes down to the school system we ball out about rules? You know, it's very funny. It's very funny. It's a ticklish little situation because we only cry out over rules when it comes to the education system. I realize that no tight pants, we ball. No clocks, we ball. No edges, we ball. No spray ground bag, we ball. Pitney them a fail the subject them, nobody na ball. Nobody na ball. Pitney them out a door past school bus a go on with the most, nobody na ball. Pitney them the all about a gallivant and a go on with all kind of things in them uniform, a soul na ball. But when it comes down to rules in the classroom, the whole of we ball out. What kind of belly pay in the classroom and give us so? And that is why teaching is so difficult because we don't have the support of the community or the parents. A few parents stand up with teachers and back way. Only a few parents will say to their child, you are wrong. No, everybody want to fight teacher girl and fight teacher boy. Because when it comes down to the school system, we don't have no respect for it. We don't have no respect for it. So listen, don't let the edges hinder your child's education, mom. Send your pitney go where she can wear her edges. You hear? St. Andrew will not be accepting her, him, she, he, whoever with any edges. I'm a don't talk.
She done talk. You hear her? You hear? Listen, she told no lie, especially when she talked about in the airport, hospitals. When you go to certain places, you're not allowed your phone or you're not allowed to wear a certain thing. You're not breaking the rules then because you know what I mean, the consequences are going to be serious, you know what I mean? You can't be on an aeroplane and shout bomb. Like, you'll get arrested for shouting bomb and there's no bomb. Like, there's certain stuff you can't do in life, and this is why schools are preparing children, and this is why they put rules in place, not because they're anti-black or they're hating on the females or they want to police them. All right, okay, my last job. There's certain stuff you couldn't wear. You couldn't wear hoodies. You couldn't wear the earpiece in your ear. That's another thing I forgot to. All these kids have got fucking AirPods. Shout out to that woman, she spoke facts. When it's anything else, we abide by the rules. But as soon as it comes to school, parents want to pull up and beat up the teacher or argue with the teacher and say their kid's in the right. Don't have chat for my pitney. What? Like, do you want your child to get an education and then they'll all vex up when they're getting an F or, they're on the school bus and they're whiling out? I forgot about clocks. How could I forget about clocks? Yeah, you can't wear your clocks to school. No, no, no. Save all that good stuff, the wigs, the eyelashes, save that all for the weekend. Girlies in high school, just get the press-ons because once you got your nails done, it lasts about a month. You don't need it. Get the press-ons. Trust me, you'll thank me later for it. Anything you want to do, you can do it on the week. Like, the weekend is your time. But during school, these are the rules and you must stick by them. So big up to St. Andrews and big up to that woman.
So one of the most prestigious schools in Jamaica have banned girls from having the baby hair look. You know, the slick ones, like the edges and stuff, they've banned them because they want to reintroduce discipline and structure in the schools. Now, this has caused a massive debate. We want to know what you guys think about this because I'm not going to lie. When I was in school, and I was in school in England, there was a lot of strict rules about uniform. You know, you couldn't have certain earrings, your hair had to be a certain length, even boys couldn't have certain haircuts. It was very strict and stuff. And I have realised that over the years it's become a bit more lax. And obviously Jamaica's known for their sort of discipline in schools. How do we feel about this? Because some people are saying it's kind of eroding, black identity and eroding the celebrations that we have around our blackness. But some people are saying no, it's good. It reintroduces some discipline, and you go to school to learn. You don't go to school to look good and have these like stylistic looks on you. But what do you think? How do we feel about this?
Shout out to him, and I agree. Again, he probably around my age group. Back when we was in school, it was a lot more stricter for girls and boys. But looking at the kids nowadays, like, ain't no rules. Like, all those rules are gone out the window. But you know what I find funny about this? How people like the whole baby hairs, it's anti-black, da 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 da, it's policing. Where was all this uproar when they were stopping people, like students that had locks? Like, for me, I'm more offended about that because some people have free-form locks where it's just that's just how your hair's just naturally grown out, and obviously some people get it twisted up. So how can people let that slide and you have to cut off your locks, but people are uproaring over baby hair? Like, Now, baby hair, we all have baby hairs, but the whole slicking and doing all that artistry, like that woman said, is giving art attack. That's us doing the most and using the right gel, adding locks is literally just natural. It's just how your hair's grown out. So that's what I'm baffled about. People are more upset about edges and baby hairs than actual locks, which is mad because locks is a whole hairstyle. Your baby hairs is literally just your baby hairs. Now, if it's the people that are literally taking clumps of the hair here, dragging it to the front, and they're like, "Yeah, it's my that ain't your baby hair, boo boo." Again, some people who might be more upset, it's the ones with the big forehead. Like they live by baby hairs. They need the baby hairs to, cover up their fod. That's another thing. But no, I agree with him. Like, as much as people talk about schools in the West, once upon a time it was strict in the UK, but not anymore. No.
So St. Andrew High School in Jamaica banned edges because they say that curtains belongs in the house, not on your foreheads. Y'all, what are y'all thoughts on that? Ooh-wee. I mean, I do notice that I can see some kids and some girls getting distracted with edges and in the mirror the whole time or whatever the case may be. But like to ban it from the high school, say what now? I'm Jamaican and this is so funny. Them I say, yo, no edges. Them tired of edges. All right? Them no want the edges. The girl them a focus on them ear more than them bookwork. They say that the hair should already be like tamed and ready without having to do your edges. Like, what? They must be tired of seeing these edges. What are y'all thoughts on that? This is so funny to me. They say they banning edges, y'all. No edges, okay?
I can't stand Jamaicans. Curtains belong in the house, in your yard. Don't bring it to school. Listen, I can't like not the curtains, and that's the people that are dragging hair way over your saw and dragging it, and they're like, yeah, that's that ain't your baby hair, boo boo. Mm-mm. But listen, she told no lies. Can you imagine teaching maths? Yeah, you're writing on the board, and then you turn around, you see this, you turn around again, you see this, like you turn around, you see this, like listen, if I was a teacher, I'd be over it too. You see the mirror, you see the rat tail comb, like hello. And you know when you do your baby hair, some of your hair drop out, so then you're seeing all different type of hair. This is not beauty school. This is not a hair salon. No, so that's why they're like your hair has to be done before you enter the school. Obviously, when they do the hair, the edges 9 times out of 10 are already done, but because of the heat, it lifts through the day. So then they're reapplying, da 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 da, laying it down again, putting this on to lay it down. Like the teachers have had enough. They've done. Leave them curtains at home.
Solidarity to my sisters, my nieces, and my cousins in Jamaica who go to that school where they've now banned edges. If that was me, I think I would. I don't know what I would have done. If my secondary school banned you from doing your baby hair or your edges, I think I would have gone into depression. I'm not even joking. I would have had to have changed schools. I would not have been able to do it. Ban baby hairs. I'm struggling to understand what that is. Banning baby hairs and edges. I'm really, really trying to understand the logic. I don't get it. But anyway, solidarity to you guys, because if it was me, boy, depression.
So you just heard that. It was a bit dramatic. Like I was checking her out. I wouldn't really class what she had as baby hedges. That's just her like gluing down the wig. But you know what I mean? It's a bit dramatic. But oh, I'll have to change schools. I don't know what I'd do. When I was in high school, it was literally natural hair, and not just for me, for most of my friends as well. There was no extension, no wigs, no weaves. Again, that stuff blew up and came later on. So I think we need to go back to basics. Like you don't need to wear a lace frontal, you don't need eyelashes, acrylics, gel, you know what I mean? Like you don't need it. Trust me, you don't need the baby hairs. Again, the weekend is your time. You can do all that art attack stuff on your head over the weekend, but Monday to Friday. And this is just, I'm sure the time might be the same as the UK. This is morning to afternoon. As soon as you go on the school bus, you can, you know what I mean? Obviously, change clothes, bathe, get your food. Then you can do it your baby hairs. Like, it's really not that big of a deal, and especially if it's causing such a big distraction while you're in school. Then yeah, man, it's a chop. Get rid of the baby hairs.
So all girls school in Jamaica just banned the young ladies from wearing bangs or any baby hairs. They said that curtains are meant for home, not on your face. And I just find it interesting, right, that after all these years of Jamaica having its independence, it still upholds Eurocentric colonial standards. Because not too long ago in 2020, they banned students from wearing locks to school. This is Jamaica. This is not America. This is Jamaica, where dark-skinned Jamaicans, and I'm only calling them that because they refer to themselves as being dark-skinned Jamaicans, make up 90% of the population. You don't need a Crown Act, or at least I thought you wouldn't need a Crown Act in a predominantly black country, right? But no, they're like, no, you can't wear locks. Just recently, 2025, the government is like, please don't send students home no more for wearing locks, and they still sending them home. So, and it's all based on, it's like, oh, this is not a civil rights issue, this is hygiene. So what, wearing locks, you got poor hygiene? Wearing bangs or baby hair is a distraction now? No, it's just y'all holding up Eurocentric colonial standards from the Brits. That's all this is. Go ahead and give Jamaica back to the Brits if y'all still gonna keep on practicing these type of policies, right?
Yo, shout out to him. He made some good points, and I agree. I'm upset hearing this about the locks. I'm not gonna lie. I hear about it in America, like certain students to go into a particular school, they've had to cut off their locks. Not Jamaica, like, especially because they know it's not just locks compared to like in America. Like with Jamaica, you're like a Rastafarian, or you have, you know what I mean, Rasta parents. Like it's bigger than just a hairstyle. And not them to be rude, like, oh, your hygiene. What? And I'm so tired of this narrative. If you have locks or have dreads, you're dirty, your head's dirty. Like, move with all that. I'm so over it. And this is very embarrassing. Like, are you gonna have like a figure like Bob Marley who had freeform locks? He's done greatness in the world, but then children of 2020 who had locks and went to certain schools had to chop it off. Like, huh? Because that would, if it was me, I'd be like, well, Bob Marley, Bob Marley's everywhere in Jamaica. Like, you know what I mean? How are you gonna look up to a man like Bob Marley who had freeform locks, but I can't have locks in 2020? Like, what year is this? And like he stated, if this is how you're gonna run Jamaica, you literally might as well just hand it back to the British. Like, what are we doing? You know what I mean? Certain people in the UK can go to certain schools with locks, but Jamaica, like he said, 90% dark skinned people. What are we doing? Like, yo, I'm vexed that I never heard about this locks thing. I'm more vexed about that. Forget the baby hairs. I'm more vexed about them sending kids home that have dreads. You have to cut it off, comb it out. Like, what? Jamaica? Is this what we're really on? Like, huh? And I'm not surprised while some people maybe who do have locks or Rastafarian heritage, they just stay home, get, you know what I mean, home taught. Because what kind of foolishness? Like, I can't get an education, and you know, in Jamaica, you have to pay for your education. It's not like it's free like here in the UK. I can't get an education because I'm locked up. Like, yeah, I'm vexed. But like he said, I agree. If this is how you're gonna go on, then you literally might as well hand the island back to the British.
I'm in a rank St. Andrew High School for girls in Jamaica for putting a ban to edges. Cause why not? Anything where distract the kids them from them education opportunities, put a stoppage and a ban towards it. Like this generation of kids, them don't see a fuck. Like them don't see a fuck. Like it's everything except them education. Like every trend need for cut out or put a ban towards in the high school. Because the CXC and the CAPE, not even say the CAPE, the CXC results them atrocious as fuck. Like this generation, them a major in the minor and minor in the major. You know what's the major in this situation? Them education, and for achieve the ultimate goal of their high school journey, and that's to get the CXC subject them. It makes no sense. You send your child to school for 14 years, 5 years worth of high school, and yet still them can't accomplish nothing. It don't make no sense. And St. Andrew High School for girls as a prominent high school, right? And an academically inclined high school, and them can put a stoppage towards edges. And remember, it's normal, and majority of students at St. Andrew High School for Girls always turn a leader in tomorrow's story. Yeah, like most of them prominent high school in Kingston, bad to bad, the kids them always turn out to something great. Honestly, it's just a small percentage might go down the bad path. But to the principal of St. Andrew High School for Girls, I totally commend you. And I hope a lot of principals in other high school, both traditional and prominent high school, as well as the lower level high school them, look on and copy it. Anything will become a trend where distract the kids them from them education and a waste the parents them money, put a stoppage and ban it. Blood clot.
So he commends St. Andrews, big up St. Andrews, and anything that's distracting the pitney them, it's a chop. Put your foot down and put a stop to it. So I agree. That girl before being all dramatic, like, oh, if it was my school, I would have to transfer, I'd have to move. It's really not that deep. Your education is the one. And you know what? If St. Andrew did not put this in place, yeah, and they see every minute the girls are doing up them edges, them hair, TikTok, Snapchat, when the results come out, yeah, at the end of the year, the school is failing. In the UK, we have a thing called Ofsted. We get an Ofsted report. So when you're looking at schools, parents can look at the rating, if it's a good school, a bad school, if they care about the students, if they don't give an F, because some schools don't. You know what I mean? Like he said, a lot of people that, graduate from St. Andrews, they go on to do better, bigger things, maybe work in hospitals, work for the government. You know what I mean? They go on and do great things. So if they're just letting these students be all in the baby hairs and just, distracted, and then, their pupils don't start getting great jobs after graduating. You know what I mean? Like something has to give. Like what's gone wrong? You can't be like a top school and then all of a sudden, it just plumps. But again, a lot of these kids, like he stated today, are dense. Like there's no common sense. Like no one's home. You're trying to have a conversation with them. They're just like, huh? Like these phones, the TikToking, they can tell you what's trending, but they probably can't tell you like, I don't know, like their times table, fractions, something that's so simple that you should know off the top of your head. But they can tell you that like the new song, the new dance that's come, because you know that in Jamaica we love the dance. You know what I mean? They can tell you what's trending, who's hot right now, who's the big artist. But you know what I mean? Can't solve an equation. Like, but shout out to him, and I agree. St. Andrews, I hope a lot of people look at St. Andrews and take a page out of their book, not just in Jamaica, but in the UK and in America, the Western countries. Like, it's not gonna do any wrong for the students, you know what I mean? Not doing their baby hairs every minute, you know what I mean? They might be depressed and pissed off at the beginning, but again, it is what it is. Make sure your hair's done before you go to school.
Apparently, an all-girls school in Jamaica banned edges. A lot of unananga agree with what I have to say, but I'm just gonna state my opinion anyways. Jamaica, some schools in Jamaica, they're very preppy, them very classy. And in order to get into some schools, you have to score a very high GSAT score, especially at all-girls schools. And they have to maintain a certain image. You get what I'm saying? And not only that, I see a lot of people saying that Jamaican schools never ban skin bleaching. They did ban skin bleaching. They did. When I was in school in Jamaica, there were a couple of students who were bleaching and they were suspended from school because they were bleaching. Another thing, Jamaican schools do not allow weave and extensions and braid, etc. So it teaches girls to embrace their natural hair or the hair with upon them head. And when you go to Jamaica, you will notice that a lot of women who are not in high school, they don't mind wearing their natural hair. They don't mind going on the road in like a ponytail or like just a bun, because we never grew up in our school where everybody in a weave, everybody in a braids, everybody wear extensions. Like it teaches people how to embrace them natural hair. I think that the banning of edges was just a way for the school to maintain its classiness. Apparently, an all-girls school.
Guys, so you just heard that, and yeah, man, going to an all-girls school myself, definitely there's a certain uphold and upkeep you have to do going to that school. And again, before you even go to a certain school or attend, there's rules and regulations. So your parents signing you up for that particular school, and it sounds like St. Andrews is that type of school, you already know what, you know what I mean, what it is. But yeah, I agree. When I was over there, I did see a lot of people embracing the natural hair. Most people just slick the hair up into a pony and just go around. Did they have their edges done? Some people did, some people didn't. And then a lot of people are locked up. But yeah, the lace frontals, that's just people that go out, go to the club. You know what I mean? If you're going to the beach, you're not gonna wear your wig because you're not gonna go into the sea with your wig on. You know what I mean? So I agree. Yeah, there was a lot of natural girlies when I was out there, and even myself, like it just was so hot. Sometimes I would just take off my wig. My hair was braided nicely underneath, and I just go out with my braids. Like it is what it is. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what I'm saying. You've gotta love yourself. There's nothing wrong with the extensions, the weaves, the wig, switching it up. But you have to go out a road sometimes with your natural hair, and that's fine. Like, love the hair that grows out your head, you know what I mean? But shout out to her, and you know what I mean? She broke it all down, and it is what it is. If you go into that school, you don't know.
Let us talk about the grooming policies. Now, you would have seen recently on social media where a lot of students were being locked out of schools because of their attire. Whether it was too tight of a pants, too short of a skirt, whether it was edges in the hair, a certain type of shoes, a certain type of bag, you get the vibe, you get the picture. Now, let's look at it from a different perspective. I'm from Spanish Town, and my alma mater is the Jonathan Grant High School. Big up Spain Town, big up One White Church Street. Now, at the time when I was going to school, Dr. Ankle was the principal. Big up the man himself. If anybody knows anything about the Jonathan Grant High School, before Dr. Ankle came on the scene, Jonathan Grant High was only concerned about tight pants, short skirt. Which man can have the most girl? Who did in a badness? Who never in a badness? Who did one in a badness? It was chaotic. School fights are broke left, right, and center. Ever since Dr. Ankle came on the scene and implemented strict grooming policies, which brought a sense of discipline to the institution, the school was transformed before our very eyes. Today, the Jonathan Grant High School continues to remain as one of the most formidable institutions when it comes to CXC and CAPE passes. Now, am I saying that we should lock out our students and to prevent them from accessing the classrooms and accessing education? That's not what I'm saying. But I'm asking the advocates to be very careful as to what you're advocating for. Because I believe that there is a direct correlation between proper grooming, discipline, and abiding by the rules of the institution and exemplary CXC and CAPE passes an overall academic performance. So what we should be advocating for is a balance. Ask the institutions to use their discretion, but allow the schools to enforce proper grooming among our students. I believe that there's a correlation, and if we continue to allow students to go to school however they want to go to school, they will get distracted, and those passes that we'd like to see in the CXC and in the Cape, they will not be coming to the fore.
Hey, big up Spain Town. That's my mum's, and big up, big up, big up. Love yous. But yeah, I like how he broke it all down, shouting out the road, the school, the principal. Is it sad that you have to lock out students? Yes, but sometimes you have to be harsh. You know that tough love, and if you know anything about Jamaicans, they will give you that tough love. You have to be tough on them to realize you can't just be waltzing into school or coming with short skirt, not buttoned up blouse, clerks. You know what I mean? Like you're not running things. The teachers are. You know what I mean? So they just won't open the door. You know what I mean? But yeah, like he said, it's not the correct way, but it did work because, like he said, once they were doing that, the school it got its shit together. You know what I mean? And now it's up there. You know what I mean? It's one of the top schools to go to. So shout out to the principal. Shout out to all the teachers. You know the ones that care dearly, deeply. They care for the students. They want them. They want the best for them. You know what I mean? Shout out to them because you know what I mean. Sometimes it's like talking to a wall. It's just like you're telling the student to do that, they want to do something else. You tell the parents, parents evening, the parents don't listen to you, so it's literally like talking to a, like you're just not getting the response back. Don't give up because hopefully eventually the kids will get it. But again, this generation, they like the social media, like the phone type of kids. So I don't even know. But again, my friend, my bestie, shout out to my my maths teacher, shout out to Mr. Khan. She used to piss him off. She was like the joker of the class. And now she's older now, she's a mother. She's like, yeah, I was a dick. And I'm like, exactly. Like sometimes you don't realize until, you know what I mean, later on in life. And she used to like wag it. That means that she used to miss school when she should have been in school. And she's like, that's all that time. She's like, I just wasted so much time. Like I wait, like she wants to go back to high school basically. She's like, I miss school, friends, you know, the things we used to get up to, you know what I mean? So yeah, sometimes it's too late, and then sometimes people realize just as they're about to graduate or just about to leave. But yeah, teachers, big up yourselves and never give up. But yeah, guys, that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and if you've got any recommendations, also let me know in the comments. But yeah, guys, do you agree with this policy? Do you feel like baby hairs are a big distraction, and yes, they should get rid of it? And this should be placed in all schools, or you think the policing is giving anti-black and it's not that big of a deal? Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video. Stay safe, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.